Lawyer?
He's the lawyer.
No, one son was the lawyer for NBA.
Oh, that's my brother.
Thank you for coming over.
Oh, always a pleasure to say hello.
Absolutely.
Film producer.
Oh, you're a film producer. Oh, that's right.
And you, what are you doing in Manhattan? You live in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, I occasionally summon up the car fare to come to Manhattan.
This is Norman Finkelstein. The man who's accused me of all
Your
kinds of
father
terrible
has
things.
the...
You're a better man than I. I'm going to go outside. You had as much fun as you have.
You could
I'm going to hurt this man. No.
No, please, Jonas, please.
My son takes attacks on me very seriously.
Yeah?
More than I do.
That's okay. We're all human and we all talk and communication is
Why would your
good.
son be upset at me? You're the one that made me unemployed.
Please.
I didn't unemploy you.
I'm the one who made you, is what some people think, right? I had nothing to do with that, as you know.
How you been doing yourself?
I'm doing okay.
Yes?
Yeah, the same result would have occurred if I had not existed, I'm sure, but... Huh?
Yeah?
I'm doing okay. Good. Yeah.
So,
Do you just out of curiosity? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You're the
Go
guest.
please,
Yeah.
go ahead. No,
Out of curiosity, what?
please.
I always wondered how I would react when I saw you in person. It's been 10 years now. And there's a part of me which is a matter of honor, personal family honor. I should probably, and I mean it literally, I should probably throttle you because of your insinuations about my late mother.
I just quoted you.
Right. I think, unlike other people, I know somewhere in the past there was an intellect at work because you grew up in Borough Park on 48th Street. I grew up on 40th Street, 1583 40th Street, 16th Avenue. I know the neighborhood. I know where you grew up. You went to Brooklyn College, which was a good school, but there was quite a leap from Brooklyn College to first in the class at Yale Law School. So I know what it takes. I was 3 years behind Chuck Schumer at Madison. So I know what it takes. In his case, he was the son of an exterminator. And to make the leap from the son of exterminator to where he is now, and the same thing with your leap. So that's a long way of saying...
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
That's a long way of saying, unlike many others, I don't deny you the fact that at some point there was an intellect at work. I think at some point also the intellect was displaced by celebrityhood, but that's a separate issue. So when you tell me something like, that's what you wrote, you were just quoting me, I know you don't believe that. There's no way a person who achieved what you did in life could possibly believe that. And I'm not going to even squander time. I wouldn't squander time or insult your intelligence by arguing that point. The thing that really, as I said, it's a kind of struggle in me. You know what my parents endured. My mother was in Majdanek concentration camp, which actually, when I met Raoul Hilberg, he said to me it's a miracle that she survived because the women's camp was worse than Auschwitz at Majdanek. You know what she endured. Every member of her family was exterminated.
As was many members of my family.
I'm talking about my mother.
But I was shocked that you wrote about her.
Every member of her family was exterminated. And then for you to insinuate that she was a capo was there's actually, even though I'm usually fairly nimble with words, I really can't capture it. But I know my mother well enough. Just to give you one case, she testified the last trial for the Nazi war criminals. Yeah.
I know about that.
And at one point, when we were walking down the street one night,
I know the story.
right, she told me, get her. If she read what you wrote, she would have said to me, if you don't take the first train down now to Cambridge and kill him, I will never speak to you again.
What would she have said about what you wrote about her?
About you, about her?
You wrote
What
about
did
her.
I write about
You
her?
wrote about her that she survived by using, I forget which philosopher you mentioned, but you mentioned a philosopher.
I mentioned Primo Levi.
No. You mentioned another philosopher. Wasn't Hume? It was one of the a philosopher who argues for doing anything necessary to survive. And
I said that I realize now that when I used to see my mother push to the head of the queue, for example, at a delicatessen, like you would take the number in the supermarket, and I remember how she would push to the head of the queue, and I thought to myself, when you were in the camp and you were lining up for the soup, and there were just a couple of vegetables thrown into the vat. If you didn't push to the front, you would die. That's the way it was in the camp. And you equate that with being a capo, a collaborator. I would say I explicitly asked my mother, because we're referring to the same memoir, I explicitly said, I asked her at one point, did you ever do anything you were ashamed of? And I quoted her reply. You see how right now, this is your sign. Whenever you start lying, the twitching starts.
I'm not even saying
but you know what I'm saying is true. You're nobody's fool, I know that. I explicitly asked her, is there anything you ever did that you were ashamed of? And she replied point blank, no. And she said to me that they once asked her to be the blockhead, the head of her bunk, and she declined it. And then you twisted that into my mother was an SS collaborator.
That's the way I understood it. I understood
you see, Professor Dershowitz, I have, as I said, I think after 40, you coasted on the celebrityhood. I've read everything you've written. In my opinion, for what it's worth, it's worthless. But there was a point, there had to be an intellect at stake, and at work. It couldn't have completely vanished. So when you tell me that's what I understood, no. It's not possible.
Look, let's just go back to do one thing. I didn't even know who you were. I had basically read a couple of things about you, and suddenly we appeared together on a radio show, and you attacked my integrity in the worst possible way.
I didn't attack your integrity. I kept saying,
plagiarized the book. You had said I had
Professor Dershowitz.
What did you expect me to do?
Professor Dershowitz.
Right?
I said on the program, this was not ad hominem attacks. We were talking about technical terms. Plagiarism is not like saying you're full of S. That's no, it's not.
Look,
3 of your Harvard colleagues were accused of plagiarism. Ogletree was accused of plagiarism. Whatever his name, Triad was accused of, and the third one.
I don't remember.
There were 3, and you. Those were not. They had
investigations, and there was determination that there was some substance to that.
Fine, but Professor Dershowitz, but you're just proving my point. Plagiarism is a allegation. It's not an ad hominem attack. And then there you proceed with an investigation. You don't investigate ad hominem attacks. So you're simply proving my point when I say I never attacked you personally. But you took what you took it as has nothing to do with what it was.
You read the quote in the back of my book where I quote you. You say I'm like Eichmann. That's not ad hominem. It's silly to have this.
Okay, before you go, can we take a picture?
Oh, sure. I thought
Do you mind?
No, I don't want a picture. No. I thought we could have a serious.
Are you sure?
I'm happy to have
I was
it with
looking
you.
forward to a serious person.
It's okay. But